What's up, salt yackers? Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about my little baby girl here. This is my Hobie Pro Angler 14 360. I want to talk to you about my experiences with this boat. I have owned it for about 9 months, and in the 9 months that I've owned it, I have absolutely put this thing through its paces. I am not a weekend fisherman, guys. I fish 4 to 6 days a week, and this thing is on the water every single time. I'm going to talk to you about the features and benefits of the boat. I'm going to talk to you about its strengths and its weaknesses. And then I'm going to give you a little rundown on sort of how to operate it. Now bear with me for just a minute. We're out here on a sort of a remote little island where we're hanging out. See those dark spots in the water right there? That is a snook, a school of monster snook. I spooked them when I paddled around here just a second ago. That was a shame. But let me get this thing up on the beach a little bit where I can talk to you about it. First off, the Pro Angler 14, this is no little baby, right? This is Hobie's flagship fishing kayak. As the name implies, it is 14 inches wide, or excuse me, 14 feet long. Don't quote me on any of this stuff, guys. I don't have the specs in front of me, but what I'm going to tell you is it's a little over 3 feet wide, okay? And she's heavy. She's a load. When she's empty, she's got to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 100 pounds. I'll pull up all the exact details and put them up for you here in a minute, but she's about 100 pounds empty. When I've got all my gear in her, she's probably close to 200 pounds. And she's a lot to move around, but it's incredibly stable. It is surprisingly fast. See them, Aaron? They're just to your left. Sorry. It's surprisingly fast, and it's ridiculously agile. The whole reason I have this boat, sorry, I'm gonna pause, guys. Can y'all see that dark spot right there? That's a snook that's probably 35 to 40 inches long right there. The reason I have this particular boat, I own 4 Hobies, and I take people on guided fishing trips in them. And this particular boat allows me the maneuverability from wherever I am when I have an angler who needs my help, whether he needs help getting a rig fixed up, he's fighting a big fish, needs help landing it, whatever. I can spin around and I can very quickly get up next to somebody to take care of them. And I'll show you later how that works. But let's start with sort of a bow to stern description. When you start at the bow of the boat right here, the first thing you see about this Hobie is it has a nice beefy grab bar here, and I love that because, as I mentioned, this thing's super heavy, and when you got a big beefy handle, it really makes getting hold of it to move it around nice and easy. I love that handle. Now if we keep moving, you're going to see a stow hatch here. This thing is secured closed with these 2 bungees. We release those bungees, see how they just hook on those pegs there. We release the bungees, this lifts up, and inside you got a nice big storage tub. I don't have much in there right now. I got some gear that I'm gonna show you all later, and I keep a sponge in here. This is for emergency purposes. Any kayak, I don't care made by who, what model, how big, whatever, I don't care. They all get a little bit of water in them, especially during your cleanup process. So I keep this in my boat all the time. So when I'm out here, if I get in a really bad situation and I'm taking a lot of waves over the bow and I get a little more water in the boat that I'm comfortable with, I can open up my hatch and I can bail some water out with my sponge. It's a super easy thing to carry around. I recommend you get one. Now, this tub lifts out of here, and when you look inside the hull of the boat, you can see I've been on the water for a couple hours today, and you see there's very little water in there right now. But these tubes you see, these are rod holders, and I'll show you those in a minute. Down in here, I have my battery for my fish finder. I just have a cheap lead acid battery right now, but this particular item, this is Hobie's battery holder. I recommend you get one of those because what I like about it, again, kayaks get water in them, and you notice it keeps it up off the bottom of the boat, so when there's a little water in here, your battery stays dry. Get you one of those battery holders. You'll be glad you did. Now, moving a little further back, the next thing you're going to see here, this right here opens up, and that is actually a mast support. You can put a mast in there. Hobie sells a sail kit that you can use, I think, with just about any of their kayaks, and that's where that mounts to install. Next to that, on each side, the PA-14 has 3 built-in rod holders here. Let me show you how those work. You get one of your rods. I've got one here. All you do is you take your rod tip, you stick it in that tube, and you slide her in, and you set your rod down on the side of your boat like that, and it stores with the tip out of the way so you don't have to worry about breaking your tip. I'm going to take it out of there for now, put it back here. Another thing that I do a lot of the times with this front storage hatch is that on days when I know I want to keep fish, I take this tub out and I leave the tub in my garage, and I have a big fish kill bag that fits in there like a glove, and I keep my fish bag in there full of ice to keep my fish in. Now, what's next here, Salt Yak? What else we got to see on this thing? So, after we leave our rod holders here, next thing you see is the drive hole. This is where you install your drive. Sorry, I got a bunch of grass in mine because I just came through a grass flat. But I wanted to show you, you can see a gear down in there. And that gear, when I move this, you can see that gear turn. And that gear is the secret sauce. That's what makes the 360 a 360. And I'll show you more about that in a little while, about how that works. Something that's really cool that Hobie does, you'll notice this is where the cables, this is my transducer cable and my power cable for my fish finder here. And I love that it comes pre-drilled, and then they've got, this comes with this cap and all these different size little gaskets that adapt to whatever size cable you're using, and it really helps minimize the amount of water that can get in through that opening. You'll see here that the boat is rated by the Coast Guard for one person up to 350 pounds. That's because the boat as a whole is rated, I believe, somewhere around 500 pounds, but that includes the weight of the boat itself. So a person plus gear at 350 pounds. So actually, there it is right there. Total 600 pounds total. Now, next thing you find are these 2 pull cords. You'll see this one is for your transducer. That's because your transducer on these boats sits on a plate that Hobie calls the Guardian. And right now, I've got that Guardian in the up position. So the transducer is actually up inside the hull of my boat. So as I drag the boat up on the island here, I'm not dragging my transducer in the sand. Then when I release this, it drops the transducer down in the water, and I'm ready to go. Same thing with your rudder. This is my rudder cord here. It's currently in the up position, or excuse me, the down position. And when I want to raise it up, I just pull it. Tough to do from this angle where I am. Hang tight. There we go. The rudder is now in the up position so that it won't dig into the sand behind me. Around on the other side, you got the same scenario. If I move my bump board out of the way, you'll see this one is for your kickstand. That's how you adjust your seat from the high to the low position. Typically, I keep my seat in the high position. I will sometimes put it in the low position. If I'm in a really windy day or rough water and I start getting nervous, I'll drop my seat. Lowers my center of gravity, makes everything more stable. Then the second one here is for your skeg. The skeg, if you're not familiar, is basically like a second rudder. And it's more towards the center of your boat rather than the back where the rudder is. And when I use that is when I'm on a long pedal. Like a lot of times I might leave here and go to that next island. It's about 2 or 3 miles away. I'll put that skeg down. It does not turn, it faces straight, and it helps you to just maintain a nice straight line. So when you're taking a long pedal, you don't have to kind of keep adjusting that rudder to stay in a straight line. It just keeps you shooting straight as an arrow. So that's your 4 pull cords. You got kickstand, skeg, transducer, and rudder. Now between those, under your feet here, you have a storage hatch. This thing's awesome, guys. It is watertight. It is dry. Water does not get in here, for me anyways. When you open it, it comes from the factory just like this, with these 2 tackle boxes and this little thing, this little organizer that lays down when you close it and lifts up when you open it. I have mixed emotions about this. It looks cool and it's pretty user-friendly, but quite honestly, a lot of times I don't use it. You can take this out and you just get a little plastic tub that inserts in there, and I actually like my little tub a little better. This is a little limited. I can only put what fits in these 2 boxes. When I got the tub, I mean, I can fill that thing up and I can put my whatever all in there and it's good. Then it's got this mesh pocket here on the lid. Right now today, these are my GoPro batteries. I keep them in there. They stay nice and safe and dry. Sometimes I'll put my phone in there. Close it down, latch it up, you're good to go. All right, another thing they put on here that it's actually really easily overlooked, but they're super awesome. In the both front corners here, you'll see this piece of HDPE plastic, and this is the handiest thing ever, guys. And again, it's got one on the left and one on the right, or starboard port, whatever you want to call them, and they hold all kinds of stuff. First off, they got this slot here that's perfect for holding a knife, and I'll keep my knife in there, and because when I catch a fish I want to keep, and I'll bleed it out real quick, my knife's nice and handy there. I also keep my fish grips locked right on there where I don't have to worry about them falling out. This also holds a pair of pliers perfectly. I'll show you that. I don't have mine in there right now because they're on my hip instead, but it holds them just perfectly, just like that. And it also has gear track right here. I will occasionally mount an extra rod holder right here on days that I'm going to do a lot of trolling, so I can have a rod up there, or I'll mount a GoPro here as well for trolling days. The other thing I do, you should be able to see it over here on the other side, I put my truck keys on a carabiner and I hang them there. That way I know no matter what, I'm not going to lose my truck keys. Even if worst case scenario, I flip this boat over somewhere, those keys are not going anywhere. So go to Home Depot, buy you a $1 carabiner, stick your keys on there. Peace of mind is sure nice to have. Now that brings us to the seat of this little beauty. I got a lot of junk on my seat. Let me get that off. Well, I guess your PFD is not junk. The seat on the Pro Angler, honestly guys, is one of the biggest pros this boat has to offer. This seat is unbelievable. It's so comfortable. A lot of days I'm out 8-10 hours straight on the water, pedaling, trolling, and I'm super comfortable. At the end of the day, I feel great, and this seat is why. It's adjustable in every direction. It works here. Like this side on your left hand, This adjusts the angle of the back. So I can turn this handle, and now the back just came up a bit more. Now I'm going to put it down, and there you go. Over on the other side, which is currently covered in ladyfish poop, adjust the angle of the bottom. So you can really angle that thing to get nice and comfortable. Another great thing about this seat, I want you all to look at how high it sits, how tall it is. I have under here 2 tackle boxes, and I could really easily have at least 2 more of these under there. And it does have a strap to strap your tackle boxes down. I don't use this personally because, quite frankly, I'm in and out of my tackle boxes so much that this would just be a hindrance to me if I was having to undo that strap all the time. So I just slide my boxes under there, and I've never had any problem with losing anything that way. It works just fine, just like that. On each side of the seat, you will find a mesh pocket. These pockets are awesome. I'll usually keep a couple pieces of tackle, whatever I'm using the most of, I'll keep right there handy. I'll keep a package of hooks, a package of split shot weights, and maybe a few paddle tails right here. You can look at the other side over here. Currently, there's my phone stuck in there, a couple packages of paddle tails, and a spool of leaders. Those things are super secure. I will tell you this, you know, any kayak can be flipped. Don't even kid yourself and think, well, I don't ever want to flip over, so I'm going to get, you know, the biggest kayak I can. Guys, it can still flip. And I've had people flip mine before. Not this one, but I have another pro angler that's been flipped twice. And one guy in that mesh pocket had his wallet, his car keys, and his cell phones all stuck in that mesh pocket. And the boat was upside down for quite a long time. And when we finally got the boat turned back over in deep water, his car keys, his wallet, and his phone were still there. Super cool. I was really impressed that they didn't fall out. So those pockets, they're sweet. You're gonna love them. All right, so that was the seat. After the seat, you're gonna come back to the aft portion of the boat, and a few things you're gonna notice. First off, the paddles on the Pro Angler are actually split in half, and they're stored in 2 pieces. You got one half of it over here, and that half has a T-handle on it, and the other half over here. So what that's for is, like, I often use my paddle when I'm launching to get out of the shallows, and you just grab the one half that's got the T-handle on it and just use that to get yourself, or if you get in a mangrove or whatever, you just use that half. But if something bad were to happen, and let's say, for example, maybe you broke your drive, or you drop your drive and lose it, you can take both those halves, put them together, and you got yourself a nice paddle to get back. Now, that said, this boat is not designed for paddling. I'm gonna tell you right now, it is not fun to paddle it. It's big and it's heavy, and it's a real workout to paddle it. So let's be sure we don't ever have to do that. But then you'll see the aft storage area back here. Guys, this thing is friggin' huge. Look at this. I got a milk crate back here. I'll move this stuff. And you'll see in my milk crate, I store some extra tackle. I keep my cast net in there. I keep an anchor in there, and just some basics, you know, things that you could potentially need when you're out, as well as my cooler. And in my cooler, we'll have some beverages, we'll have our lunch, whatever. And look, it's not even crowded. A lot of times I'll have a live well in there instead of the cooler. But today we're just fishing artificial, so no live well today. We did bring the cast net in case we want to grab some of these mullet that are cruising around. It also has back here built in 2 rod holders. There's one on each side, and I will tell you, I was skeptical about these rod holders because, as you can see, they're not very deep, right? That's as deep as that rod goes in there. And I was a little skeptical about that at first, but man, I will tell you, I have been trolling and I've caught some real monsters with the rods in that holder just the way it is right now. Kingfish and sharks and big fish, and never had anything pull the rod out of there. Knock on wood. But I was skeptical. Now I'm not. I'm a believer. They work. They do their job just the way they're supposed to. Now keep on coming back. Of course, it has a system of bungees there to latch all your stuff, or to lash all your stuff down. And on the bow of the boat, look at the H bar back here. Big meaty handle to grab to lift this big girl up and put her wherever you need her. That handle is fantastic. The one on the back, the one on the front, they're both just friggin' awesome. I love them. Now, a couple of mods that I've made. Of course, you gotta have an anchor trolley. I use my trolley, as the name implies, for an anchor, but I also sometimes use it for a sand spike or a shallow water anchor. Put it right through there. I can trolley this to the front or the rear of the boat, depending on, you know, current, wind, all that. And this works really well. Hobie does make a trolley kit, and I have a couple of them on some of my other Hobies, but I like this one a lot better. And this is one, a custom one, that my friend Richard over at Tackle Shack in St. Petersburg, Florida makes these, and he makes a really nice heavy duty. The hardware is all stainless, heavy duty, big thick rope, big thick bungees. That thing's awesome. It's about twice the diameter as any of the kits that you'll buy anywhere else. I really like it. And of course, I got my Garmin EchoMap 7.3. Actually, it's a EchoMap UHD 7.3 SV, so ultra high def with side imaging. I really like this thing. I use the sonar on it constantly, but I also use the navigation chart quite a bit, and it helps me find my way around in some of these mangrove mazes. So that is the basic features of the Hobie Pro Angler 14360. Now, the next thing we're going to do is show you a little bit about how it works. Hang tight. All right, guys, so we're going to launch the Hobie off the beach here now. Let's see. Here's how you do it. First, I'm just going to pull her a little bit off the sand. And I'm going to get her pointed the right direction. I'm going to hop aboard. She's so stable. Look how easy you just step up in here, no problems. Guys, I'm not a small man. I'm 6'1", 225 pounds, and I can just step right in and step right out with no problem. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to install the drive. You want to look at that arrow right there. Make sure it's facing forward and straight, like that. And then you want to grab your handle over here, make sure it's forward and straight. I'll show you that in a minute. Put her in, and watch that red latch down there. Latch her in. Boom, you're done. Drive is in. Now, we're going to come over here to our grab handles. We're going to put our transducer down in the water, because again, that Guardian's got it up right now. There, it's in the water. Now we're going to put our rudder down. You just pull it towards the center, drop it, it releases. We don't need the skeg right now, so we're ready to cruise. She pedals so effortlessly. Look at the snook right here, guys. Holy moly. Fish are insane out here today. And we're just gonna pedal around for a second. And what I'm gonna show you, down here on your left, you have two controls. This controls the direction of your drive is facing. This controls your rudder. On the right, rudder only, okay? So what we're gonna do first is I'm gonna pedal with the drive facing straight forward. And how you know what direction your drive is facing is that arrow that's on it, that red arrow. Right now, I'm facing forward, but watch this. If I turn that handle, now the drive's gonna take me to the left, or now reverse, or now to the right. I'm gonna put it back forward again, just like that. We're gonna pedal, and you'll see we move pretty effortlessly through the water. I'm going to turn only the rudder to the right, or starboard if you want to be a cool guy. Can y'all see this school of mullet in front of me here now? That's why the snook are here. There's something else I wanted to show you. Check it out. I just stood up. Look how stable she is. I'm rocking it back and forth on purpose. Stable as it wants to be. No problem. I can just sit back down nice and easy, get going again. Now I'm gonna make my drive turn me. So with this handle right here, I spin this handle, and look, my drive is now facing left, and I'm gonna kick, and watch how fast this thing turns. Let's wait for Erin to come into frame here. She was directly behind me when I started that, and look, there she is. So I'm just gonna demonstrate why, again, I have this boat, so that when I'm guiding folks, let's say Erin's fighting a big fish. Woo, go girl! And we're gonna come up and watch this. Now I'm gonna turn my drive a bit. I'm gonna kick my rudder hard left, turn my drive a bit, and look, boom, just like that, here we are. Now in reverse, I'm gonna pump my brakes, and I got her. And I'm here ready to help her. So if you're like, you know, if you're a saltwater fisherman, fishing yourself, the 360 might not be necessary. You might want to just look at the regular Pro Angler 14 with the 180 drive. But if you're doing like what I'm doing and you need to be able to maneuver quickly, the 360 is invaluable. The other way this thing would be amazing, you know, I spent my whole life bass fishing in freshwater lakes, and dude, this thing is an animal for that, because you know, out here in the big water, getting in a position if you're just fishing is not a big deal because the spots are giant. But when you're bass fishing and you're trying to get up into that lay down tree, or you're trying to get around that group of lily pads, is this 2 dolphins right here? Sure is. Look at them right there. Can y'all see them? I'll go get up there so you can see them a little better. You're trying to get around those lily pads. Oh, it's a baby dolphin. It's a mama and a baby. I'm gonna not get too close because that ain't nice, but try to get close enough that you can see them. There's the baby in the front. Mama, here's mama in the back. Baby's in the front. Oh, look how cute that baby is. But yeah, man, if you're a bass fisherman or a walleye fisherman, this thing would be amazing in freshwater. So we showed you how to launch it. We showed you how it pedals. We showed you how it turns. I will tell you, I had a bit of a learning curve before I was really good at it. Before I was really good at putting it exactly where I wanted to, quickly and efficiently. But you'll pick it up pretty quick. Where's the dolphins? There they are. There's mama. There's baby. That's so friggin' cool. I love that. I never get tired of seeing dolphins. Most fishermen think they're a hindrance because they chase all the fish away, but I still like it when they come around. And I'm going to show you up close how that drive works. When that triangle, that arrow is pointed forward, here's why. The flippers are actually forward, but look at what these flippers do. Remember when I showed you that gear down inside the hole a little while ago? As you turn this handle, it moves that gear, and that gear causes the drive flippers to turn just like that. And they go in 360 degrees, hence the name of the boat. That's the magic, the secret sauce right there. Erin's used to using our little compass, which is over there on the beach right now. This is her first time in the 360. This might have been a mistake.
This is way way easier.
Well,
and comfy. I feel like I'm on a recliner right now.
Yeah,
like,
it's basically a lazy boy on the ocean.
yeah.
Or on the lake, depending on where you live.
Spear and some pretzels and I'm good to go.
Damn, pretzels? That sounds amazing. All right. So guys, I think we gave you a pretty, you know, the one thing I didn't show you guys, and I got reminded of that just a moment ago because I had to do it for Aaron, and that's how we adjust the length of your pedals. Because like my legs are a lot longer than hers, so it's so friggin' easy. You see this right here? This little triangle here indicates that for Aaron right now we have the pedal length set to number 5 setting. If you got longer legs, you need to go to a 6, 7, or 8. All you do is squeeze this little trigger, push it forward, and boom, you're in a number 6. You're in a number 8, just like that. I use it on a number 7. She's a number 5. Whew.
It's good stuff.
All right, now let's talk turkey for a minute. The first question, the most important question that everybody always has is, hey dude, yeah, we get it, it's awesome, but how much does it cost? Hey guys, the reality here, hold on to your checkbook, man. This sucker, it's big and it's awesome, and it's got a big and awesome price tag to match. It's just a hair under 6,000 bucks for this boat, for this particular model in this color. I think about $5,800. So in terms of, you know, fishing kayak world, buddy, that's like in the stratosphere. It's up there. But in typical Hobie fashion, guys, I'm telling you, you get what you pay for, right? You get a great product. But now hang tight, don't go away yet, because the piece of this also that I gotta tell you about is how their warranty works. And I don't want to sound like some old Hobie salesman that works for Hobie and telling you about how your warranty is going to work. It ain't like that. Remember, I don't work for them. They don't sponsor me. I'm a customer. I buy their stuff. I'm distracted because there's a friggin' giant snook right there. But I recently had a lot of experience on the warranty side of things with this boat. When I bought it, about 2 months in, my drive started making a weird noise. And so on my way home from fishing that day, I stopped off at the dealer where I bought it, and I took a video of it on my phone while it was doing this, making this like clicking noise as I was going. And I go in and I show them the videos, like, hey guys, and they're like, yeah, I clean it up real good. I said, dude, I clean it after every single use, and that's a true story. Every use, all of my boats get a total bath, every drive, total bath, every rod and reel, total bath, everything. Because I rely on this stuff and I got to keep it going. Now, he said, yeah, don't worry about it, just keep using it and I'll get back to you. About a week later, dude calls me, he says, hey, Hobie sent you a brand new drive, we got it here, swing by, bring us your old one. I go by, bada bing, bada boom, no questions asked. They swap out for a brand new drive for me. That was amazing. Thank you, Hobie, and thank you, Tackle Shack in St. Petersburg. Richard, Hobie Dick, he's the man. Andy, everybody up there, they're all awesome.
They are.
That was step 1 of warranty issue that I had on this boat. Fast forward to about, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, and guys, I've had the boat for like 9 months now, and as I say, I use it all the time. I had a bigger problem with it. The boat cracked. Right here where this seat mounts, developed a big crack right here. And I was taking water in. I got home one day, no kidding, dude, there was like 5 gallons of water inside the boat. Got a little sketchy. Same thing, took it in there. They say, all right, do your thing, we'll get back to you. About 2 weeks after that, they call me up. They say, hey, bring us your boat. And if you'll see in a couple videos before this, if you look back, the day I showed up there and they had a brand new one sitting there for me. So, is it cheap? No. But guys, they stand behind it. And if you have a problem with it, they send you another one. Not every company will do that. Spend the money. It's worth the money. You'll be glad you did. Besides, guys, it's only money. You can't take it with you. Dadgum. Get out there and have some fun with it while you can. Am I right?
That's true.
Some people probably think I'm a little bit crazy, but hey, that's just where I'm at in this day and age. Sometimes, you know, life can throw you curveballs that make you realize about what kind of things really are important and what kind of things maybe are less important than we all thought at one point in time. And with the stuff that we've experienced in our life, we realize that, hey man, you better get out there and have some fun right now, because life is passing and it can end at any moment. And at the end of the day, you don't want to look back and have regrets that you didn't stop and have a little more fun because you were too worried about spending the money. Dude, spend the money. Get out there. You'll be glad you did. If you don't go,